very good morning to one and all present here. I, Professor Varsha Gokak, on behalf of Jain College of Engineering and Technology, Belagavi, welcome you all for this online workshop on design thinking, critical thinking, and innovation design. Today, we have with us a very eminent personality, Dr. Sanjay Kotabagi sir, who is from B.V.B. College, which comes under KLE Technological University, Hubbali. Sir is currently as Dean Student Welfare Affairs, and he is a professor in School of Mechanical Engineering. He is also the HOD for Humanities and Social Sciences. He also is the director for Internal Quality Assurance Cell and also ISO coordinator in B.V.B. College, Hubbali. Sir's qualification is B. He's completed his bachelor production. He is associated with KLE Technological University's B.V.Bhoomaraddi College, Hubbali, since the year 2002. He has presented many research articles in renowned journals and in conferences. We are very lucky and we are very blessed to have today amongst us Dr. Sanjay Kotabagi sir, because this particular topic I do not find anybody else more eligible to explain or to give us knowledge about design thinking or innovation other than Sanjay sir. He's been practicing this in his college through small projects which comes under social innovation, and he deals with all kinds of projects. So that is the reason we are very lucky to have him, because he's implementing all the techniques that he will be sharing and the process with us. Nextly, I would like to thank sir because he's got a very busy and tight schedule, and even after that, he just on a phone call, he accepted our invitation and he agreed, and this is only for the welfare of the students. And he readily said yes, and from his side, he said, no, I would like to interact more with the students. So the interaction and the project level we have planned for the next semester. So I would suggest and I would request the students to make best use of today's lecture. May I now request our principal sir, Dr. J. Shivakumar sir, to kindly address today's gathering.
Thank you, madam. Warm greetings to all of you. At the outset, on behalf of Jain College of Engineering, on my personal behalf, I wish to extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Sanjay Kotabagi, Professor and Dean Student Welfare, KLE Technological University, Hubbali. So we are very fortunate to have you, sir, on this workshop on innovation and design thinking. And actually, this innovation and design thinking is introduced in the current semester, and the students, participants mostly are the students of the first semester. I hope your expertise definitely will throw some light. This workshop will definitely help our students to explore more and to gain more insight in the learning of innovation and design thinking. Again, sir, on behalf of Institute, I wish to extend a warm welcome and wish to say thanks to you for accepting this, our invitation, and presenting this concept. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Sanjay sir to kindly take over the session.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So, at the outset, I would like to thank Principal Sir and Madam Varsha for inviting me to this particular session. In fact, as Madam said, we are not expert yet. The learning is on. We are also learning a lot of things whenever such sessions are conducted, and a lot of modifications we are doing at our end based on the experience we gain from time to time. So through this particular session, which is going to be very short, in such short period, we can only orient the students towards certain aspects. So here, what we will be doing in today's session is that we will go through the importance of innovation and connect innovation to the social challenges we have, and how this design thinking can act as a framework to solve those social issues, right? This is what we are going to cover in the next maybe 60 minutes. So let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See now, before getting into the actual discussion, see, first of all, let us feel proud about ourselves for having chosen this particular profession. So for that, I have a story to share it with you. So this is one story wherein the engineer was, working on engine wherein he was trying to overhaul the engine, and he could see that there is a famous heart surgeon appeared in his shop. And many days he had a curiosity in his mind, which he wanted to share it with the doctor. And he went to him and asked, "So, doctor, look at this engine. I have opened its all the parts, like engine is heart of any vehicle. So I have opened its heart, took the valves out, repaired, and put them back. So for doing this, I get very little salary or the compensation paid. But when you do certain operations as a heart surgeon, you get huge sums. Why is so? So you all know doctors, how much they charge for each operations they carry out. So doctor smiled at the engineer and then came close to his ear and said, "Try the same when engine is running." So the engineer had nothing to say. But this was, really working some 2 decades before. But today, in 21st century, it is not so. The story gets continued. So the present engineer smiled back and came close to the doctor's ear and said, "I can pick up any dead engine and make it alive. Can you do it, doctor?" So this gives us the feeling that how significant the role of engineer is in the society we all live in. So we are here to, in fact, solve the societal problems. We are here to give the solution to the the societal problems. So on day-to-day basis, the engineer need to create the world that never was. See, every day we are looking or getting many new things that are appearing. It profession is not only about technology, but more importantly about creating social value. See how nicely it has been said. We are here to create social value. It is not just about technology. But how do you create the social value? To create the social value, we need to really identify the unmet social challenges, the design challenges. We need to provide solution to those unmet design challenges. And for that, definitely we need some framework. So here we can definitely use design thinking framework to solve those unmet design challenges. What do you mean by unmet design challenges? See, it can be like, see, two cities are not properly connected. Civil engineers can definitely come into that and then build a very convenient, bridge to make those two villages connected. So it can be with respect to the experience the patient is going to get in the hospital. It can be related to some old age people who are looking for some better equipment to take care of their arthritis problems. So there are many occasions wherein the engineer's role is wanted. So See, these unmet design challenges are the real challenges to the students who are into engineering profession. So once again, I would like to read this statement for you all. See, please go through it carefully. Engineering profession is not only about technology, but more importantly about creating, sorry, social value by providing solution to the unmet design challenges using design thinking framework. So that's why the AICTE has come out with a course for the first year students to make you get connected to the society, understand the difficulty, the problems the society is facing, and how best an engineer can look at those problems and give solutions. That's why this course has been introduced. We should really thankful to the AICT for taking up this initiative. But we at KLE Technological University, last more than a decade, I would say, we are into this particular, you know, course, which is called Social Innovation, which is made a compulsory course for all the students of first year, and then to create a kind of a mindset in them to look at the society around them and identify the area which is ripen for innovation. So with this, the background, let us now look into what is that we should really learn from this discussion, or the journey what we have taken up, what it is going to give us. So in the form of objectives, let us look at them. There are three well-defined objectives. The first one is build students' capacity. That means the students who are now, I know that in this platform we have students and also the faculty members. So it's for the students and both the faculty that this intervention should really build the capacity to use problem-solving skills in addressing unmet needs through certain principles, and here we are using design thinking principles. So see, please go through the statements word by word. It is to build. That means the problem-solving skills need to be, working as a foundation for in the students of engineering profession to address the unmet needs. So this capacity is to be built. Then second one is to address the unmet needs, they need to have proper mindset. So that mindset is to be constructed. We need to really prepare the student's mind to what? To ignite a curiosity in them in seeing problems as opportunities. In fact, for the engineers, there is nothing called problems. We have only the opportunities. So second objective is to construct the mindset and also ignite the curiosity. And now, once the curiosity is ignited, the mind is set, and I'm ready to address the unmet needs. Naturally, I should have, students' perspective to look at the world around them to identify the right, interventions. So these are the three things which should really, get induced into the students when this journey is taken off, right? But at the same time, there are certain points to remember. First of all, you are all first year students, right? So you have a different varied demographic background, and you are definitely new to these technical terminologies, the concepts. And more importantly, whatever you learn today should become a strong foundation for your further engagement, further learning engagement, right? And you should really develop a designer's mindset. And you should get this through an experiential learning process. And you should always get engaged. See, these are actually kept at the back of our mind when this journey is taken. So it's totally a different journey what you are going to take. You cannot compare this journey with the learning pattern which is normally used for any of other conventional courses. This is going to be an open-ended journey. Here, it's only, focusing on these three objectives, realization of these three objectives. I would say realization. Why? Because you should go on realizing, you should go on seeing these transformations happening within you when you take up this journey. And this journey would get completed only when you choose on-field projects and provide unique solutions using the technique available. So this is the background. So then the question comes, what kind of problems are really now solved? When we say social innovation, when we say innovation, we say critical thinking, design thinking, these are all interconnected. But what is that this entire set of intervention is providing us in the form of solution, and what kind of problems or the design challenges these processes are addressing? See, gone are those days when we say the innovation means it's a product. No, now there is something called service innovation. Correct? It's not just product innovation; it is service innovation. So, I'm just giving you a basket of problems which are normally solved using design thinking or some other principles. See now, just look at it. You can go through the statements made here. It says, make airport waiting time more pleasant. It looks so simple, but for the people who are senior, the senior citizens, when it is announced in the airport that the flight is delayed by 4 hours, what they should do? They may be diabetic, they may be having some other ailments with which they cannot spend the time at the airport just like this. So, how to make their life comfortable? How to make a waiting time more pleasant at airport? See, such problems need to be solved. Such problems need to be picked up by the engineers and then go on giving the solutions. See, next, improve traffic congestion in a city. Or it can be building a better MR scanner experience for children using paintings and storytelling. See how nice it is. The children below certain age would be frightened to get MR scanning done. So when it is inevitable, they must go through that, but they are not ready. How to make them ready to many methods. Here they have used the paintings and storytelling and then convert their mind and then prepare them for the MR scanner. So these are all the areas where the students should really look into and then start giving the solutions. See, go through some more examples like teaching kids design thinking, or that is to enable kids to solve world's biggest problems, right? And building a better experience for shopping for sunglasses, right? Creating the future of food delivery through design thinking. So there are n number of possibilities like this. So wherein the engineers can definitely play a wonderful job by providing the solutions and make the life of the people comfortable. See, if that is the case, then what is that innovation is all about? We are talking. So innovation is a process of creating value by applying novel solutions to meaningful problems. See this diagram. See, when the problem is defined or the challenge is really seen, it is not very clear. It is definitely the problems when it comes to our mind are not with solutions. We need to really understand the problem, unlayer it, and then get the clarity, then go to the solution. So many times the solution lies with our problems itself, but we are unable to look at it because it is jumbled. The problem is so much jumbled that you will not be able to see a solution in it. So for that, in fact, design thinking is the best framework which can help us to unfold those layers and then look out for the clarity, and then that is what is innovation. So innovation is a process of creating value by applying novel novel solution to meaningful problems. When I say meaningful, they, sorry, all the problems will become meaningful only when you attach your understanding to it. So when you can attach understanding to this, when you really step into the sufferer's shoes, what we call it as empathy. In fact, we are going to discuss in detail about empathy in next level of discussion. Okay, so then the problem becomes a meaningful problem. Then we start unlayering those problems and provide the novel solution to the problems. So that is what is innovation is all about. But how this innovation framework really works? See, whenever the problems are observed, right, I need to really empathetically get into the situation and look at that particular problem from the sufferer's angle and collect maximum information about those, or that particular problem and converge back. So this is actually called two-diamond, model. Otherwise we call it as convergent and divergent, thinking model, wherein initially we think in a divergent way, collect maximum information about the problems we have identified empathetically, and then diverge back in the form of analysis and then identify or define a problem. And again diverge to look for the multiple solutions and convert back to a particular set of the problems, so solutions which are apt for that particular problem. So in this entire process, what is happening is, it is the empathy which drives it. At every stage, the empathy drives it. You can just see here, there's a diagram wherein the core is empathy. One side we have a designer who is going to design the solution, and the other side is the user who is going to experience that particular solution. So this is the yeah. So if anybody has got any questions to ask, you can just type it in the chat box. Madam will take it at the end. So see, empathy drives all this. So to understand it in a more simple way, innovation framework has got three elements. One is desirability, second one is a feasibility, and third one is a viability. See how nicely they are connected. Try to understand it. So what is desirability? It is what is really required for the society is to be picked up. The problem which is really a user's problems, not seen from my angle. It is the what is most wanted. Maybe in other terms you can say, see here, what stakeholders want it, what the users want it. That is the desirability part. So once you pick up the right problem to solve, next question comes, can we do it? That is the feasibility. Can we do it? And if we can do it, the economies, whether they can sustain it, that is the viability. So three things. One is desirability, that is whether we really want it, can we do it, and can we sustain it. So if you answer these three questions automatically, or your intervention addresses these three or satisfy these three elements of innovation model, then automatically your solution becomes a unique and most prevailing one. So what these innovations are, to understand more meaningfully, let us take some projects which are taken under the banner of innovation. See, this is one of the classic example of a life straw, right? So it's an example of a user to drink. So the scientists or engineers developed this a straw equipment which has got a filter in it, with which they can use the water which is getting filtered and become a quality water to drink. So this is one example, classic example. This is one more, the innovative example. Children. See, wherein the villages where they need to fetch the water from the long distance, this drum is designed wherein the kids can use it like a toy or the fun item to play on with the water in it. So without any tiredness, they can pull it for long distance and then fetch the water. So one classic example, it's done by Harvard Business School students. See how this has been really understood. Let us understand the design challenge here. It's actually example of the infant incubator, what we have called it as. But see, initial incubator, what was available, right, was costing very huge because of non-availability of the incubator. The kids were dying. So the students took it up as a challenge and designed. You should really understand here, when they designed, they really understood the problems of the infants and also the mothers accompanying those infants. Right. And they designed a infant incubator which was 1% of the standard cost of the standard incubator. Right. And it saved millions of kids across the world, and this product was costing only $25. So this is what we call innovation. So just to recapture, see, when we look at the problems, we need to look it from three angles, I said. One is the desirability. Let us take the same example and try to understand those three elements. Desirability, yes, the society needs it. Badly, they are in need of it. But it is not, when it is compared to the existing one, which is costing $25,000, which is cannot be affordable by the normal families. Right. So what they should do? So it is most wanted, desirable. So second one is, can we do it? So at that point of time, we cannot do it because the present model costs a lot. That means we should now do something to reduce the cost. Right? They did it. Then is it viable? Looked at it from the economics angle. Then ultimately, they applied all the three elements of innovation model and came out with the best product, which is called the infant incubator, at costing $25 per product. So this is what we call innovation. Now what is essential for the students to understand here? It is your mindset. You cannot make a statement what the layman makes. It's not possible. We cannot do it. How can we do it? All that. No, you cannot say that. So whenever the problems are seen, you should apply all the three elements of the innovation framework and then try to come out with the best solution for the design challenges you identify. So it can be design, we can call it as design challenge, or you can call it as a social issue. You can call them as the problems of the society. All are same, but you need to understand and apply the innovation framework to give the solution. See now, so this innovation, in fact, starts with what is called empathy. What do you mean by empathy then? So let us understand this through this particular story. See, this story is about a blind boy, sitting on the steps of a building with a hat by his feet, and there is a signboard put by the side of him saying that I am blind, please help me. It looks very obvious, right? So there were only few coins he used to earn every day. People passing through would look at him, and say sorry about his state, and then used to help him. But one day, a man was walking by the side of that particular street. He looked at that boy, board by the side of him, and there are few coins in the hat. There is some, see, now, let us try to understand how the objectives. I said, no, build the curiosity in students, construct mindset and build curiosity. So that happens only when you observe certain things that are happening next to you. And that's what this man did. There is some curiosity got developed. And he said, why a person who is visually impaired should be able to get more, know why people are not helping him. And to his mind, something came and he changed the board. He wrote something on the board and then went. That boy could understand that somebody has changed something there. But by afternoon, he could collect lot of money. Lot of helping hands came forward to say extend the help. So this man who had made the change, he wanted to see whether his solution has really worked. So he just came back. So this why Initially, in fact, they started with the issue connected with the same issue, like the rural children having lack in lack a lack of interest in going to the school because they are not getting there to really support their parents in their earnings. Then only they can earn their square meals. So then they thought it's not that creating interest in them by motivating them about education and other things. It is better that we provide them midday meal. That's how ISKCON got into coming out with the kitchen, and today it's the biggest kitchen which is really taking care of almost 2.5 lakh children every day. We should really come once to this kitchen in Navnagar, Hubbali, and they give permission. You need to write to them well in advance and then take their permission and go in batches. Morning 5:30 you should come here. Then only you can see the process how they really carry out, and by 7 o'clock they should reach their start moving out so that they can reach their destinations on time. It's really worth visiting. Okay, this is one example. Second example, it's a normal scene in everybody's home that the maid of the same picture what I have shown would be coming, and then she does her work meticulously, but she would never smile. She will have lot of pains on her eyes, face, because she has to
Hello. Sir, your screen sharing has been stopped, sir.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, fine. So this is what I just wanted you all to. Sorry, there was an interruption in between. This is what we were discussing about. Let us take an example. It's an example of a hospital where patients or the relatives of the patient are standing in the queue, and we can see some frustration on their faces, right? So, are we? Can we capture their pain points? So if I take it as an example to solve using design thinking principles, the first thing I need to do is to understand their pain points. So then convert that into an opportunity to improve their experience or create a healthy atmosphere at the hospital, at the registration counter. Is it possible? Can you just take 2 minutes of yours and then type in the chat box what would be the pain points you see from the sufferer's angle, not from your angle. You have to place yourself in the shoes of the people, because this situation is not new to you, right? Can you do that? Can you just type in your chat box? Or else you can do one more thing. You can keep your list ready. You can WhatsApp us later. Okay, this is the way how we should really look at this. Today's session. I would like to take you only through expose you to a lot of situations where the innovation, critical thinking, and also the design thinking would work. See, let us take up the examples where we can really apply this. One example, under education, improve the basic knowledge of mathematics of students of rural schools. Let us take this and try to understand empathetically what would be the pain points of the students who would really face this problem. If their basic concepts of mathematics are not properly being taught, they will face a lot of problems when they go to their higher classes, right? So how to improve the basic knowledge of mathematics of students in rural schools? This is a classic example which fits into the framework of design thinking, right? So if I take one more example, environmental angle, how to decrease the usage of plastics by people, right? Encourage people on digital mode of transaction, how I can prepare the people to get into more use for more usage of the digital mode of transaction. See, walking support for person with cerebral palsy. I can design a classroom delivery to improve students' classroom participation, right? I can prepare a lot of models and then create interest in them. See, this is sixth one is so interesting, attracting kids to schools. Case of KG going kids here, all these projects what I am now sharing with you, all done by our students, right? Here for the sixth one, attracting kids to the schools, it was the problem in fact raised by some of the parents when we were in search of or during the societal study. The parents said that our kids find hardly any interest to go to the school. It is very difficult to take them to the school. So the students designed a very attractive, what I say, the entrance, wherein when students come, they look from the outside itself that there are some alphabets being put on the floor, and there are certain games that are available in the ground, right? And the gate itself is so attractive that there's a Disney is there, somebody is in some attire wherein they can welcome the students with lot of smile, and that made students, kids rather, to get attracted to school. They changed the entire environment of the school. Then see, improve the civic awareness amongst the people on parking rules. Say goodbye to tobacco for better health, right? Design a Braille board, notice board for visually impaired students. And the 10th one is quite interesting one, taking students back to school. The girl whom you are seeing in this image is the one who had lost interest. She was not ready to go to the school, but with the kind of interventions the student did, they motivated her, they motivated her parents, and they contacted some NGO to support her with her fees and other things. And at the end, she wrote on the book that I want to become school. And can we improve the environment of library of government schools? Enhance communication skills of rural kids. So these are all the possibilities, right? Wherein we can really take up the problems and then give solutions using design thinking. Slow learners, teachers' biggest worry, alcoholism and individual health, right? And improve the sense of menstrual hygiene with the girl students. right? Increasing accessibility of the study materials to underprivileged students. See, increasing accessibility, they the students develop the online library for them to make them accessible to certain resources. So these are some more examples wherein they developed using technology, develop the learning tools to the children. This is the Braille board, right? This is Caesar gate walker for the people who had a problem at Manovikas Institute of Rehabilitation. This is the Android Arduino blind stick, which was developed to the visually impaired. This is filtration method. So with all this discussion now, can students who are here on this platform can come out with their own list of problems which they normally observe in their day-to-day life? Just visualize, or maybe when you start moving around now from today, can you look at the situation around you and try to make a list of things where your intervention can be, like I have just listed down here. See, the immediately what is visible to us, like overcrowding on the buses. So young couples unable to afford houses. Bad online experience buying movie tickets. Like unable to tackle an issue efficiently, backlog issues. And when customer complains, when has, see, there are many possibilities. So if you look around the world, which is really, we live into, every step we have a lot of opportunities. So those opportunities are to be, captured and then applied. But when I talk about, I was just to go on saying that design thinking, then what this design thinking is all about? This design thinking is nothing but it's a framework. It starts with empathy and ends with the prototype. Okay, so what it really helps us? How does it help us? It really helps us to simplify the complex social problems. So it helps us to simplify. How does it? How it will get simplified? It's by applying empathy, through which you are going to place yourself in the shoes of the sufferers and unlayering their problems. See, then you are going to get the clarity and then able to solve it. How it really happens, I'll tell you. It is, in fact, having 5 phases, right? The first one is empathy, what we have seen, and you have seen how empathy really works. And once we have the empathy, then we go to get the clarity about the problem we have identified by really talking to the stakeholders, right? The stakeholders are the one who are having the direct, interest in those problems. For example, if you are working for the students about their communication problems, then students become your primary stakeholders, and teachers, the parents, the school authorities, and the society at large, all of them would become your secondary stakeholders. Then you need to really interact with them to understand the clarity about the problem you identified. And once you define your problem properly, then you go to identify multiple solutions. There are tools available which we should really understand, apply, and then come out with the multiple solutions. Once your solutions are done, then you should go in for the rating of those solutions and then come out with a unique solution for the problem you identified and go for prototyping. Prototyping is an earlier version of your final model, which you are going to do it and then test it, take it to the society and test it on the people who, from where you had identified the problem, and then implement it and complete your journey. This is exactly what happens with design thinking. Of course, today I'm not going to take you into detail. In fact, I asked Madam Varsha to hold another workshop. In fact, we should have a workshop of 1 day Either that can happen at your end, or you all can come to our place. Uh, uh, we should hold a workshop minimum of 1 day to in fact understand with the hands-on exercises. Today I'm just taking you through or orienting you through the the process and the basic conceptual understanding of how this innovation really works, how this empathy becomes a strong foundation towards building a better solution, right? And to take up these phases, the mindset is very much essential. So first the mindset is you should be empathetic, and second one is show, don't tell. That means you should really become the action man, not the storytelling person, right? And you should be ready to experiment a lot, and you should pay attention to clarity, right? And then collaborate, and then action oriented. For this, I'll just give you one more example wherein how people really understood the people's pains, right? I'll just explain you. There was one case wherein the it was about the patient who was there on the bed for long period. You know that people, if they are there on the bed for the pretty long period, they will develop bed sores. Okay, it's difficult to handle once the bed sores are really coming out. So it is necessary for us to change the bed sheet of such patients frequently. It was a challenge. It's very difficult for the people to understand when the bed sheet is to be changed. So the students came out with a very unique solution to this. They developed a small gadget, right, which was connected to the bed with the sensors in it. Once the moisture content of the bedsheet is go goes beyond a certain limit, it will give the alarm, and the attender can understand that it's a time to change the bedsheet, and they will come and then change the beds. See, this is how, when I say paying attention to clarity, experiment, empathy, collaborate, this all would be the mindset of this person who would take up such problems. So with the proper mindset, when we really attack the problems, the solution will be unique and most meaningful. So if then what makes this design thinking a unique way of thinking? So if I just compare design thinking with business thinking and creative thinking, say creative thinking uses the right brain and business thinking uses the left brain. But design thinking uses both the sides of the brain to solve the problems. So it is going to balance between that's why I said initially 3 circles: desirability, viability, and technical feasibility. So wherein we will be using all the, both the sides of the brain to solve the problem. So, and in case of business thinking, we analyze and decide. We focus on analysis. Creative thinking, we focus on creation and expressions. But design thinking, we balance both and then look at the solutions. That's how the design thinking becomes a unique way of thinking. So now to recapture what we really discussed from the beginning, that initially we could understand what is the role of an engineer, what is the focus is on. Basically, the role of the engineer is to solve the societal problems in a unique way, because it's not just technology. We are responsible, or we are social change makers. And to get into that mode, we should really develop our own mindset. Our antenna should be always open on to the problems around us, and we should develop our own problem solving skills to address those issues. And so for that, we had taken a lot of examples of how this innovation framework really works, and how empathy becomes the strong foundation for all this process, and how we can use the design thinking principles to address these needs. That's what we could see in last 65 70 minutes, and now we are coming to end of the session. And then any questions, madam, you can maybe unmute a few students if they have any questions, or else they can type it in the chat box and then send me.
Yes, yes, sir.
Before conclude, I would like to, again say that this is just a orientation class, right? We need to hold a day-long workshop to understand all these phases in detail. So maybe you can arrange for one day workshop to do that. So, any questions? The floor is open for discussion.
Yes, sir. I'll just ask the students. Hello. I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Kotabagi sir for sparing his valuable time and giving us this enlightening, knowledgeable session. All the students, I'm sure they have made best use of this. And thank you once again, sir. I will now request Professor Sanjeev sir to kindly propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. I myself, Dr. Sanjay Singh, convener of IIC. I'm very happy to give a vote of thanks. I sincerely thank Professor Sanjay Kotabagi, Dean Student Welfare, KLE Technological University, Hubbali, for accepting our invitation and giving a wonderful session on design thinking and innovation for our first year students. I sincerely thank to our JJI management for their continuous support. I thank to our beloved principal and director, Dr. J. Shukumar, sir, who is supporting for all the activities when we established our IIC cell. I must thank the event coordinators, Professor Varsha Gokak, Professor Sritej, and Professor Fateli, who are working continuously from last 15 days. I thank my faculty and student members for their active involvement in this session. Thank you once again, sir. It was a very, really wonderful session. Sir, we hope that in future we'll have more interactions with you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
So with your permission, sir, shall I now end the meeting, sir?
Loki, so